Hello everyone. Welcome replay viewers. Welcome to those that are jumping on, those that are on the web, welcome. And welcome to those that are jumping on live. Hey Rosemary, welcome. Hi Thriving, welcome. What's your name, Thriving? I know I've seen you before on my scopes as well as others. Hey Josie, welcome. Elizabeth, okay. You may have to remind me that a couple times. I'm working on remembering names and connecting them with handles. Welcome you guys. I'm glad to see you. So we are continuing with our cleaning out our cupboards so that we can have a healthier lifestyle, so that our cupboards can support our choices. Turn this around. There. So our cupboards and our pantry and our fridge, our freezer can support our healthy eating habits instead of having the crap that's calling us but we don't eat it anymore. Hi, Swastika? Swaksta. Welcome. Thanks for sharing, Rosemary. I think there's a lot of value to this. Personally, we didn't originally clean out our cupboards, and it's been a gradual process too, but I think I probably would have been further along if we had done it to begin with. So just a little bit for those that are joining me, those that are joined on the replay that don't know me, those that are jumping on now that don't know me. My name is Dawn. I'm a personal wellness coach with Herbalife International. And thank you. A friend of mine made them. I personally, since I took on my health and wellness and cleaned up my eating habits, blended in the Herbalife nutrition with good, real whole foods, I've lost 91 pounds, over 220 inches of fat. That's over 18 feet of fat, you guys, that I'm not carrying around anymore, which has been huge in impacting my energy, how I feel, even how often I get sick, and that's not saying that Herbalife necessarily cures anything, because it doesn't. It's getting that good, clean nutrition into my body, and my body has the tools to fight off infections. So even if I'm exposed to things, I don't frequently catch it. And when I do, it's not typically as bad. So that's huge. Not as much downtime. Gets through my body a lot faster. So we've talked about on Monday, and those that are coming into the series late, you can find me on catch.me /GetHealthyWDawn, and go back and see the things that you've missed. Hey, Leslie, welcome. So, so you can get the things that you missed. We talked on Monday about why you want to clean out your pantry, as well as some tips to be able to clean it out. Hey, welcome, Parker. So that you could get that cleaned out. You can have that space. Now, I hope you guys didn't necessarily clean it out on Monday, because now your cupboard's going to be totally bare for a few days, and you're going to be more likely to just buy crap. So, keto adapted here. Awesome. So yesterday we talked about planning before you go to the store, because if you have a plan, you're more likely to stick to it. Hey, Leslie. And be able to get the things that you need to put in your pantry, and less likely to go to your old standbys. Okay, so we talked about setting a plan, some ideas for different, if you like sweet stuff, savory stuff, bitter stuff, some things, some staples to have on hand so that you can fulfill those tastes. Because if you don't, you're still going to crave those flavors, and you're just going to go fill them somewhere else. So you want to make sure your pantry supports your plan. Okay. So yesterday we talked about planning. Both of those will be up on catch.me. They'll probably be on YouTube next week. Today, we're going to talk about, now we've got our plan, we've got our grocery list, we're going to the store. Okay. And so I'm going to talk about some things there to help you navigate the store. First off is moderation is key. Okay. If you try to go gung-ho and you buy a bunch of stuff just because you should buy it, because it's clean, it's healthy, but it's not necessarily something you're going to eat, you're going to waste a lot of money and fill your pantry with stuff that's just going to be sitting there, and you're going to find yourself failing and going and buying the other crap that you're trying to get out of your diet. So keep in mind, moderation is key, and it's a journey. You know, you don't have to be perfectly clean overnight. In fact, I would say typically I'm about 98% clean. There are days that is not the case. But yeah, especially if I travel, or, the other night we had an event with a bunch of other families. We just threw together a barn dance at my friend's barn, did a bunch of circle dances and line dances, and it was lots of fun, and there was some crap out there, some of which I did indulge in. Yeah. But I danced, I worked it off, and then I was back to my normal. It is a process. So I don't want you to set yourself up for failure and then be hard on yourself for failing. We want to set you up for success. So remember, moderation is key. There are some things that as you are looking at labels that, and if you haven't cleaned out your cupboard yet, that you need to be sure to get out of your cupboard. I don't think I mentioned this the other day, but watching Leslie's Scope yesterday made me think, oh, I don't think I mentioned this, because I am in 100% agreement. If there is one thing that you don't want to do moderation on, that you want to totally get out of your diet, get it out of your kitchen, get it out of your house, do not bring it in, is high fructose corn syrup. That stuff is poison. It is poison for our bodies. And if you want to know all the reasons why it's poison, go to Leslie at Go To Kitchen Scope yesterday. Hey, I love popcorn. Our theater, well, I don't know about our big theater, but we have 2 sub-theaters, and they use coconut oil to pop their popcorn. They're back to the old-fashioned stuff. And I had popcorn at our dance because that's what I brought. But I pop it in coconut oil, and I know the Archie's fun. That song's fun. And then I put sea salt on it. It's not the worst. It's how it's prepared that can make it the worst. So as you go to the store, you may not find super healthy versions of some of your favorite foods. Okay. You've been singing every day now, I bet. If you can't live without it, and there isn't a really healthy version of it, then go for a healthier version. Okay, so take steps. Get to where, maybe down the road, maybe 6 months from now, you can take it out. But for now, look for a healthier version. Use your skills that we learned at reading labels on Monday. Use those again here. Look for a version that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it. Look for a version that maybe has healthier sugars or healthier, leaner meats. Oh, see that? Oh, yeah, I would do that too. See, the way I look at it, they don't sell kombucha, so I can bring it in. I used to be that way with water, but now they're starting to sell bottled water. But yeah, so go for the healthier versions where you can. Don't deprive yourself. Hi, Myra. Hi, Clarissa. I think I saw you come in. Don't deprive yourself too much. Okay. Again, you don't want to set yourself up for failure, but also remember your goals. Okay. Because if you go overboard in the not setting yourself up for failure and not depriving yourself, your kitchen's going to look just like it did. Okay. I have a couple of things that are your, I don't want to call them cheats, but your things that you can't live without. Have just a couple of them that are going to be treats during the week. Okay? So you're not depriving yourself, but you're also not eating it all the time. And buy smaller packages of those things. Instead of buying the family size, buy individual servings if you can. That way, I thought I took that off. Sorry. That way you can enjoy a small treat every once in a while, but you haven't made this big old huge pan of brownies. You just made a little 8x8 pan brownies that you can share with your family. Better yet, find a healthy recipe for brownies, clean it up, and make that instead of the boxed one. But my point is, buy smaller, single serving size packages. That way you're not going to have so much. Yes, organic shopping is great. Yeah, I wish we had like a Whole Foods here in town, or a Nature's Grocer, because ours is like 45 minutes away. We do have a small health food store, so they have some stuff. And they order stuff too for me, so that's good. Another trick that will help you avoid a lot of the temptation in the store is to primarily do like 99% of your shopping on the exterior of the store. If you think about it, think about the layout of your store. The produce is on the outside. The meat is on the outside perimeter. That stuff's not on the aisles. Dairy's on the outside, if you do dairy. All of the healthier, cleaner stuff is on the outside, and the crap is on the aisles. Maybe on the end caps too. So shop primarily that perimeter. Now, my Smith's that I shop at has an aisle that is their organic. Not the produce, but their that's where I can find coconut oil and chia seeds and things like that are all in this aisle. They have a lot of their simply organic stuff is there. So that's where that's the one of the two aisles I'll go down. The other one is the frozen fruits and vegetables. And even those aisles have a lot of other crap. I know. That is pretty much the only aisle I go down. Other than that, it's around, and then down the freezer with fruits and vegetables. And there's still a lot of crap on that aisle too. In fact, even our organic aisle, they have all their bread there too. But I just ignore that section of if I'm going to put that stuff in my body, it's going to be the stuff my husband makes, because he grinds all of his grains and stuff. So it's all pretty clean. In fact, he stopped even feeding the yeast with sugar. It feeds off the grains. So if I'm going to do it, that's what I'm going to do. I don't look at that part. But if you are buying breads, then look for whole grains. Read those labels. Read the ingredients. Enriched wheat flour. You don't want enriched wheat flour. All that means is that it's white flour. They've stripped all the nutrients, everything out of that flour. And they've added just a little bit back in, just so they could call it enriched. So it really isn't providing anything for you. It's just a filler. You want the whole grains. And you can get really expensive whole grain breads. You can get less expensive whole grain breads. Even better would be to get sprouted grain breads. So that's kind of the progression. You're going to go for your whole grains and then your sprouted grains. Because that's going to provide even more for your body. Another way to set yourself up for success is to find things that you like. Okay? Only buy things that if you're going to eat it. If you're going to have to force yourself to eat it, leave it on the shelf. Leave it at the store. Don't even put it in your cart, let alone bring it home. It can be. Look at the label, because sometimes it'll say it's a 12 grain, but like the first ingredient is enriched wheat flour, and then they add some other stuff. So just look at the label on the ingredient label. But a 12 grain bread could be very good. But yeah, if you're buying stuff you're not going to eat, you're wasting your time and your money. Buy stuff that you're going to eat. I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? You're changing your lifestyle, but you don't want to be going wholehearted on stuff that you don't like, because you're going to fail. It has to be stuff that you like, and your tastes will change. There may be things now that you say, I don't like that. But 6 months from now, when you've cleaned up your diet and you're eating healthier, things that you will start liking. You know, one example for me, I have always hated beets. With a passion, I hated beets. They were just nasty. Okay. Tried them several times growing up, never could eat them. And then my husband and I qualified for a dinner, and it was kind of dark in the room. Okay. That's my excuse. I thought it was purple cabbage that was under the chicken we had. And I'm eating, I'm like, wow, this is amazing cabbage. Yeah. My husband says, oh, no, that's beets. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't like beets. This is cabbage, and I don't know how they seasoned it, but it's really good. He insisted it was beets. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. So then I went up to my mom's house for a couple days, and we went out to one of the buffet places. I don't remember what, but we just hit the salad bar. Yeah, beets are amazing for you. I just didn't like them. And so that's not something I would have bought. So we went to the salad bar and loaded up our plates, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try some of those beets because Thomas swears those were beets. I'm going to try. I'm going to prove him wrong. It was beets, and I love them. I am totally addicted to beets now. Last summer, I've been telling my husband for years that if he planted beets in the garden, I would prepare them for him, even though I didn't like them. Last summer, I told him I want beets in the garden, and we didn't get them. This year, I made sure we had beets in the garden, and I've been eating beets. I'm almost out. Since they started being ready, I've been picking one every day and having it in my salad. But now I think I have one big beet left out in the garden, and a couple that are pretty much still roots, so I don't think they're, hey, Texas Big Daddy, welcome. Thanks for inviting people. Yeah, I'm going to have to get them. Yeah, aren't you gonna do a scope on that, on kvass? I know, next year I'm planting way more beets. Trying to think what we could get rid of in the garden. We can get rid of the bell peppers. We don't eat enough of bell peppers to really worry about planting them. I'm getting rid of the bell peppers and adding more beets. That's just it. I think that's the only thing I'd be willing to get rid of. Anyway, so there's an example of how your tastes change. So just because you don't like something now doesn't mean 6 months from now you won't like it. You know, and 6 months from now you may want to look through your cupboard again and see, are there things that are still in here that I can get rid of now? Are there things that I held on to, and maybe I haven't even eaten them, but that I've held on to, but now I can let go of those things and replace them with something even better. Remember, if it's not in your house, you're not likely to eat it. So keep the crap at the store. Just leave it there. You know, just because you like it, if you know that you shouldn't be eating it, leave it at the store. And then it's harder to get. So if you really, really want it, you can still go get it. But if there's other things you can satisfy that craving for with, and it's here at your house, great. Beet sugar is typically from GMO beets. That's why. And GMO anything is bad because they are genetically engineering those plants to have pesticides in them and to be resistant to herbicides. So they're kind of creating a super plant that nothing will touch. And if the insects won't touch it, I don't want it in my body either. I personally, I think a lot of our health issues that are running rampant now that weren't 50 to 100 years ago are because of all of the GMOs. That's just my personal belief. Okay, so if you really can't find a healthier option for something that you really, really want, skip buying it this week. Say, I can buy it next week. I'm just not going to buy it this week. Remember I said you want some of those things that you really like that you can't live without, but you're not wanting to have that every day. You want to have just a couple of them that you bought in a smaller package. But maybe some of the things you're going to wait and skip and not buy this week. And then maybe next week when you go shopping, you can get those as your treat things. Or you can put them off another week. And after a couple weeks, you probably won't want them anymore. So those are just some tips and tricks to be able to help convince this of what is good for your body and that your taste buds, because that's a big thing. And during this week, you can be looking for a way to make it healthier. If it's organic, it can't be GMO. GMO is not organic. So if it says that it's organic, it can't be GMO. And not all corn, just like 98% of corn. Sweet corn currently is not GMO because GMO corn tastes nasty. That's why they grind it up and they use it as a filler. They use it as crap that they put in all of our processed foods. So really, the less processed foods you can get, that's the biggest thing. I mean, as you're looking at those processed food labels, you're going to find that most of them are full of things you don't want to put in your body. And those are the things that you can start researching and looking for recipes to make those things. And then if it's a time and convenience issue, plan a day, maybe a Saturday, or some people do it on Sunday, that you can batch cook it. Cook up a bunch and put it in the freezer. That way you have it to just pull out and heat up whenever you want. Maybe you're going to have it for dinner that night and make, it takes the same amount of time, maybe a few minutes longer, depending on vegetables to chop up or whatever, to make a recipe that will serve 2 as a recipe that'll serve 4, 6, even 8. And then you can freeze that in servings for however big your family is. If there's 4 people in your family, eat half of it tonight, put half of it in the freezer for another night. That's a healthier way to do convenience foods. You make it convenient and you make it healthy because you know what's in it. And then start stocking up on staples. Okay. Like I said, I was going to do staples tomorrow, and I was going through, and really it was just going to be I was going to be sitting here reading a list to you. That wouldn't have been fun. Or holding up a list, take a picture, holding up another list, take a picture, and that would have been really boring. And I don't like boring. So that's something that if you just Google clean pantry staples, there are several sites that come up, and then each site has different things, and you're going to have to look and see what's going to be staples for you. Beans, dried beans are a great staple, especially if you have a pressure cooker, because then they're even faster to cook. Quinoa is a great staple. Some of the clean staples are things that you just always keep on hand. Because staples, beans are a staple here, dry beans. We have a couple different dry beans. My husband actually goes down to IFA, which is like a feed supply store, but they also do some bulk grains and beans and things like that. He goes down there and buys like a 50-pound bag and a couple different beans. And we have them here. And then he just almost every week, he cooks up a pot of them. Okay. But they're staples. They are always in our house. And if we can cook up some beans, we can add anything to that. And then, we can go to the store and we can get some carrots, we can get some broccoli, we can get some meat, some vegetables to add to it. Well, for us, our meat comes out of our freezer too because it was shot up on the mountain. Most of our meat is venison. A little bit of elk left, but most of our meat, our friends have shot on the mountain. Not that we're opposed to hunting. We hunt. My husband just can't find a deer to save his life during hunting season. And so our friends help out. Those are the kinds of friends you want. So that's where most of our meat comes from. A little bit of chicken, but they process our chicken so bad. Yeah, I love venison. But our chicken, and it's hard to find chicken that's organic, that's raised right, raised happy, not full of steroids and crap, and then a lot of times, and they pump the meat full of crap too. So it's hard to find chicken that doesn't fit that. So we eat more venison. Rosie's air-chilled organic chicken is delicious. Ooh, that sounds amazing. So those are some of my tips. If you go to, I do have a list. They sell it at Sprouts. We don't have a Sprouts here. That's a bummer. We have a Kroger. Well, it's Smith's, but it's a Kroger, and Lynn's, which is Associated Foods, and Walmart, which I try not to shop Walmart food too much, just because they get last selection. After all of the other big stores come in and pick out of the warehouse what they want, Walmart takes what's left. That's why they can be cheaper. So, and a lot of times I've brought produce home that looked fine and it was gone the next day. Yeah, and Sunshine Nutrition. That's not like a regular grocery store, but they do have some stuff there, yeah. And I frequent there. That's another place that some of our grains and seeds and stuff we get, because they'll bulk order them for us. But I do have a list of some staples that can get you started. If you go to, in fact, let me pull if you go to my website, turn it around, and I'm going to bring it in close so you can screenshot that. That's the link. Yeah, that's a good place to get your herbs, is our health food store here. If you go there and register, if you scroll down to the bottom, it has a contact me, and you can click the other, and if other, fill in right there, just type clean staples list, something like that, and then I'll know that that's what you're looking for, and then give me your email and your name, and I will email it to you. I do not sell your emails. I don't collect I don't even send out emails to everyone that's given me their email. That may come down the road, but if I do, I will give you the opportunity to opt in or out of the list. Oh, so you didn't get the, let's see, there it is. Did you get it, Clarissa? Yep, it's right there. GetHealthyWDawn.weebly.com. So you guys go ahead and just take a screenshot of it. And then you'll have it. Okay, you guys have it? I don't see any screenshots happening. Hopefully you've gotten it written down. Even if I do start doing a mailing list, it'll just be like a weekly one. It won't be a daily one. Number one, I don't have time to be sending crap out daily. But I also, It absolutely annoys me when my mailbox gets filled up with crap from people that are, you know, just doing whatever. Screenshot, typically your power button and then like your menu button. You know, on my iPhone, it's on my power button on the side, and then my little circle down the bottom, the home button. That's typically, you just push them both at the same time, but do it quick, because if you push it for too long, it'll take you out of the scope. But just a quick. I wonder if I can take my own. I'm going to experiment.